Hey, Timmy, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good here. We got another week, and
Yeah,
this
hey,
week was
everybody,
pretty.
welcome to Truth, Lies, and Political Bullshit. I'm Sean Morris, your host. You know my co-host, Crazy Timmy Thibodeau from the Fifth Ward. And hey, thanks for joining us again. Last week, Tim, we were talking a little bit about DPW workers who were working in shitty conditions, and we weren't just kidding when we said shitty conditions.
Shitty.
We're
Yeah, that's
talking
true.
about shit from the sewers that Steve Hennessy has these guys taken out of the sewers and burying it in the DPW garage area, so they get to work literally right in the shit, and it doesn't seem like anybody cares because you went there the other day, Timmy, or you had somebody looking at it, right? And it was still there.
No, I went there and I took photos.
You
Okay,
took photos.
and yeah, and all this stuff is piled up in on the western back of the yard down there, and they park their vehicles back there. Then when it rains and this all runs downhill, and they're walking through it. Yeah,
So
it's
we did a quite an extensive conversation about Steve and the way he treats these people, and the mayor just
hmm
turning a blind eye, and
well, they
you
all
know,
are.
it's just pathetic, and
Even the council, even the council. All right.
even the council
Yeah.
has done nothing. But so that's where we left off last week. But we're going to jump into some new stuff this week. And one of the things that we received a lot of calls about, emails, etc., was about the former community center, now the Gil Either Athletic Center. I think that's how they pronounce it, right? Gil
Yes.
Either
Yeah. Gil
Athletic
Either.
Center and Community Center.
Yeah. Athletic and Community Center. Yeah.
So I reached out to Danny McCoy, and unfortunately, he couldn't come on the show because he had another obligation. But said he'd come on, in the near future, maybe next week. And he sent me an email listing all of the stuff that the community center is engaging in. But why don't you let us know what the hell's going on, Timmy? Are they open? They're not open?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, look at it. It is open. Okay. They don't have a very big turnout because I think people don't think it's open, but the gym is open. It's especially you get a lot of kids in there in the afternoons after school between 4 and 6 p.m. You got a physical fitness center. It's all the equipment is right in there, Sean. No one is in there using it. Now keep in mind, okay, it's all free. Registration is free. Okay, you can create an account at the Albany website. So what I did is put a link on my Fifth Ward page, and then you can go to that link. You can create an account. You can register, and you can join all these different events that they have going on. They've got 3 pickleball courts in the gym that's set up in the gym. They just have the lines marked. They bring in the nets. They just, as I was there today, Sean, they brought in, I believe it was at least 3, maybe 4 ping pong tables.
Hmm.
Okay, so they got pickleball, they got ping pong tables coming in, they got basketball. Okay, they want to create leagues and stuff like that, and then they have other interest programs like comic books, things for kids, and then some environmental things for like bird watchers and tree growers and all that stuff. So they're trying to have a wide array of things of interest for a lot of people. But look it's open, guys. What you got to do is just stop in during the day. There's flyers all over the place. You can find out where you need to go
So McCoy sent me
on the
a
Albany website.
yeah. He
Yeah.
sent me a text message, a little while ago, and he's let me just read something here. Any question, comments, or concerns, please contact Parks Recreation's main number. So we have the phone number and an email address where you can kind of go and get some more information on the community center. So what we'll do is we'll post that up on the Fifth Ward podcast or the Fifth Ward
My
Facebook
page.
page,
Yeah, I'll have that up. Yeah.
and then you can go there. Anybody looking to get information about the community center. Hey, it's exciting! It's exciting that the Gil Either Center is open,
Yeah.
and I know it's only open. What's the word I want to say, Timmy? It's not really going full
It's
bore, right?
it's
It's
like
kind of
it's kind of like a soft opening, you know.
yeah,
People are
yeah,
now they're gradually becoming aware that it's open, but really, they really need to build on up a lot of people to start going there, and then we'll see that it's more and more open, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate Danny McCoy and Gil Either and everybody else who made this stay happen. I can remember about 9 years ago trying to get the county to come in and help the community center when they were struggling. But then when I was in office, I wanted that place, and I think the city really missed the boat. I think
They
Steve
did.
Napier, who's incompetent at the highest level, and the mayor, who never seems to look up to see what the hell's going around in this city, missed this great opportunity. Mind you, we could have had a one-stop shop in the city for kids, for seniors, for adults, for everybody. You could have had a library in there. You could have had a workout stations in there. You had the swimming pool in there, the pickleball, the gym. You could have had offices. You could have rented it out to organizations. It was a opportunity that the city will never see again, because that building will never be a city building again. And instead, these clowns, and I will call them clowns, they're going to spend $3 or $4 million to open up a new library that's going to be a shit show, because the thing is certainly not made to be a library. It's an old bank. It's going to cost them more money to get it handicap accessible than it is worth trying to open it. Right?
They could have repaired the existing old library where it was for the same amount of money that they turned around and bought the new one on Remsen Street. They got to put millions into that too. And guess what? All the books that were in the old library, they shut the building down, had it closed. They got 70% of a significant amount of our moldy now because they didn't have any environmental controls to keep them there. So it's just it's a disaster. But yeah, I agree with you on the community center. It was a missed opportunity.
Well, when you hire somebody who knows,
they have no vision.
Well, when you hire somebody who knows nothing about economic development, you have a mayor who doesn't even know what the hell he's doing, and you put that together, you get a circus, right? Yeah. And so think about this. Mm-hmm. They could have bought the community center. They could have got over $1.5 million of free money to fix the swimming pool, because the state had all kinds of grants for swimming pools, right?
Yeah.
They also would have had the grants for the library. So they would have got the building for a steal. They would have got a brand new pool. They would have got a brand new library, all for about $1.5 million. Now they're going to spend about $4 million to have a library in the middle of your downtown, which is the biggest mistake you're ever going to make, right by Rock the Block, which, you're out there listening to music with thousands of people right in front of your library.
They're going to lose, right? They're going to lose the tax money on that building.
Yeah, okay? And then there are other people that they just let sleep and piss along the side of the building and drink beer and do drugs all day long. You're going to have to be scooting them away. Listen, Gil Either, I'm so proud to call you my friend and to know that they named this building after you. And to Danny McCoy, who really went above and beyond. But the reality is, to Bill Keeler and Steve Napier, you two dodo birds really missed a great opportunity for this city, like you've done for about 6.5 years. But hey, that's for another podcast to me. Mm-hmm, So anyway, the community center is open, soft opening. Pickleball is the big thing. I run into Gil, and he was telling me that on certain nights there's like 50 people down there playing pickleball. That's a huge name, Tim.
It is. It is. It's an up and coming thing. It's kind of like being on a ping pong table, except you're doing it with net. It's popular.
Well, it's for mostly older people, I would imagine, right? They can't play tennis, but this thing is.
Yeah, they have all ages. I got flyers and stuff. Go down there and pick up the flyers. They want to have leagues 12 to 17. They got a lot of things going on down there. So it's exciting, Sean. When I walked in there, I haven't played basketball in there in probably like 30 or 40 years, okay?
You telling me you used to play basketball? You're 5'3".
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I was a terror. Okay?
Yeah, I bet you were. You were probably elbowing everybody in the Cohoes, right?
Oh, I intentionally. I would drive in. When Danny Bonomo was in there, I'd elbow him in the stomach. He didn't like it. And Gregory, I can't think of his first name, but anyway, I would go in there. I'd step on their feet driving through.
Hostic said you're the ball boy.
yeah. Gregory Clark, I think it was. But anyway, brought back old memories. I miss it.
Yeah, hey, it was a great place for a lot of kids that were born and raised in the city. But hey, anyway, Timmy, good news is it's open, and it's open in a soft launch. And go down there, ask questions, sign up. be
Start
part of it.
leagues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be part of it. I
create
hate to see it
teams.
open and not
Right,
have a
right,
lot of love from a lot of people.
right. Get in there, create teams, start leagues, start playing. Okay, that's what I would say.
Hey, listen,
Pickleball,
everybody.
basketball. Yep.
If you like the show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As you know, we went from about 6 of us sitting around watching the show to 180,000 people last year. I want to get up higher than that this year. We're hoping to get 200,000 people. We were the number one podcast in the capital region based on volume, and I know we can do better. We bring you better shows, try to be better. We're just two dodo birds sitting at the one of us sitting at our kitchen table and the other one hiding behind this virtual background. But hey, we're doing the best that we can. So please hit the button, subscribe, help us grow. We'll have a lot of fun together, and we appreciate it. I want to jump over to something, Timmy, that's kind of interesting because it has to do with Troy, but it
Yep.
also has to do with something that I've been saying for a long time. And I want people to see where I draw the contrast to what's really happening in our country. So we had Mayor Matello on the show last year, right? Carmela Mantella, the first woman mayor in the city of Albany or city of Troy. She came on the show. She was trying to do 900 things. We had a bad connection. She's going to come on again, she said, when we call and ask her. But I think she's done an amazing job.
Yep.
Troy has always been a tough city, a lot of crime, dirty, just a lot of things. And she reminded me of myself because she put together like these emergency cleanup crews, and she had all these things to make sure the city was clean and safe. And it was almost exactly what we were doing in Cohoes, right? We started the Safe Streets initiative. We got crime almost down to nothing. People could walk the streets. We didn't have the bums. We didn't have the drugs. We didn't have people shooting each other and fights in the streets. And she's done the same thing. And I applaud her because she's done a fantastic job. But one of the things that she was trying to do, Tim, was bond $6 million to do some upgrades over at Frear Park. Now, if you're a golfer locally, Frear Park's a nice little place to go play golf, especially for me, because I stink at it. I could barely walk. I can't swing my arms. And when I go to pick up my ball, I got to bend over and stay there for 15 minutes. So I don't have to spend a lot of money to be a crippled guy trying to play golf in Troy. But it certainly, like every city, needs a little facelift, right?
Yeah.
So what is the mayor of Troy? She is a Republican. And she had a Republican council that helped her move her agenda along. And that agenda, I think personally, from this side of the river, was really shaping Troy to be a lot better of a place to live and work and to play, right? So now the political tides turn and she's got a Democratic council. So what is the first thing the Democratic Council is trying to do, Timmy? They come up with this cockamamie story that, that $6 million a mulligan, man. That $6 million is a golfing mulligan. It's not good because the bond is written wrong and it's going to hurt the city in the long run the way it's written and blah, 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 blah. Now, let me just tell you something, Timmy. There's not a council person that you'll ever find that knows shit about a bond. No shit about how they're written. No shit whether they're written good or bad. You know why? Because they're complicated. And we hire bond counsel. We hire lawyers that just do bonds to put these things together. So when a council person tries to bullshit the community and says, the bond is bad, you know what it is, right? It is a Republican now trying to deal with a Democrat, and they clash for no other reason than one's a Democrat and one's a Republican. And guess what happens? The citizens of Troy and the citizens all across this country lose because it's no longer about what's best for the city and its people or the country and its people. It's about you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, and we're going to not let each other have the upper hand on each other. And it all centers around them.
Party.
And it no longer centers around us.
Mm-hmm.
And so Troy is in that same predicament. I hope people can step back for a minute and look at this on the local level and realize that this is the government that runs the country from top to bottom, from cities, towns, villages, counties, boards of supervisors, all the way up to the president of the United States and our Congress.
Yeah.
We don't ever have bipartisan solutions. We have bipartisan fights. Everything is a fight.
Yeah.
I will not let you, Timmy, get anything because you're a Republican. I don't care if they are teaching you how to replace somebody's heart that would last another 500 years. They'd find a way to say that heart is polluting the solar system and we can't save people's lives because, it will cause global warming. They'll come up with some of the stupidest shit.
Thing. Yeah.
So what do you think about that? I mean, do you see the same thing I see?
Yeah, actually, I do. I mean, all you have to do is look at Congress, okay? They're more concerned about going after each other and who's in power and who's, they want to, the Democratic Party wants to win the midterms so they can try to undo everything that's being done. It doesn't work that way in a greater sense. It's just going to end up being a stalemate. Okay.
It just becomes pathetically.
It does. They don't care about moving the country forward.
Problematic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So think about it, right?
Yeah.
On the federal level, Democrats are saying we want to take back the Congress so we can impeach our president. Like that really matters to people. Mm-hmm. What matters to people is that your 401k is doing good. Your health care is affordable. There's jobs, the good paying jobs.
Food
unions are strong.
Down.
There's so many things that are so much more important to you and me on the local level. And then on the local level itself, what's important? Fixing the parks, paving the streets, picking up the garbage. And when you can't even get those basic things done, like the mayor of Troy trying to fix the golf club and maybe the greens, or I'm not even sure what the actual bond fixes. I just know that no council person has the ability to tell me that a bond is written poorly because they're written by some of the best attorneys that do nothing but write bonds, and that it's nothing more than a political attack. And so Troy loses, not because the mayor's not doing a good job, because right now the council's Democratic and they're trying to stick it to her. And believe me, I'll rewind that. If it was a Republican on the council and a Democrat as the mayor, they'd be trying to stick it to her. It doesn't matter. It's all one stupid type of Hatfield versus the McCoys. And I don't know if it's ever going to end. And it's pathetic. And and then on the other hand, when you have a council like Cohoes, they're just dodo birds. So everything that this guy wants, they do. So we'll have a $4 million library instead of a complete community center for the whole community. And if you go to Schenectady, they don't even have the ability to do business right now because they can't vote on who's going to be the leader of the council. It's, I don't know. The whole freaking world is a train wreck. And and we get to witness it.
I find it frustrating, Sean, because no matter what comes on up, for the good or the bad, okay, but for mostly a lot of the things that are problemsome, the council is just uninterested. To me, I believe it's just a downright lack of leadership, not having the the spunk to move forward and say, I'm going to fix this. They can't even get a simple thing on the agenda to amend the city charter code to put in place a whistleblower law like Albany has, because DPW is always contacting either you or me, or I get it through a different source, but it typically affects a lot of DPW, sometimes police, sometimes fire. But the bottom line is, Sean, there's no protection for the whistleblower. So now a guy shows up for 2 minutes late for work because something happens, road could be blocked or whatever, and they get suspended for the day instead of just docked 15 minutes. I mean, it's hostile down there, hostile. Most of them hate their job, and it's not because it's the job itself. It's because who they work for.
So I'm not sure if they have protection under the state.
Well, they
because there
got their
are.
union, but it's
I'm just
useless.
saying there's some state laws about whistleblower protection that I think may cover them, and they have the union. But that's besides the point. You have seen some of the greatest employees, the longest tenured employees in DPW,
Yeah,
suspended for 40 days. He suspended a guy for 40 freaking days because the guy didn't get the grass cut as
yeah,
quick as Hennessy wanted him to get the
right,
grass cut. You know why? Because they were tending to the water and the chemicals.
yeah,
And they keep winning half the battles, but they have to keep fighting, and they're suspended
yeah,
without no money while they pay. And after 30 days, when they're supposed to pay them by law, they come up with some bullshit. These people are tyrants.
right, right,
They are just mean rooted,
right.
rotten people who have no clue on what they're doing, and they just go
Yeah,
after the people, and it
sure. And this
sucks.
is how really how petty it is. Uh, if you remember, Al Paul got insulted by the mayor during a council meeting, and he said, "Well, you're just a laborer." So Al Paul took that to offense. Okay, he's working in DPW, so he turns around and he said, "Well, you're a clown." What does he do? The mayor turns around and tells Hennessy, calls him a clown. Hennessy, who wasn't even in the room, suspends him or writes up something that says that he did this. Well, it's third party to you, Hennessy. You weren't even there. Okay.
Well, a
So,
clown is a clown, and that's
yeah,
the clown show that
you said it
you're
best. You can't expect government to fix government problems.
No, but I wanted to talk about Troy only because I
Yeah.
think it's a great example of what's happening across the country, even right here in our hometown, where everything, whether it's good or bad, gets tied up because of the political parties' inability to get along. I mean, think
Yeah.
about this: if you had to go get if you had to go get a surgery, some kind of surgery on your
Yeah.
body, and the best doctor in the world was a Jewish guy, and you were a atheist, would you
Yeah.
say, I don't want him doing it because he's a Jewish guy, and I'm this or he's that, or no? You go to the
Yeah.
best guy to get it done. We
Yeah.
don't
Well,
do
that
that in
right.
government. We don't do that. We don't look for the best ideas to get them done. We just go after people
Right.
because
You look
because
for the
of
most
political party. I
qualified
am telling
somebody.
you, and I've said it on this show. I've said it in my whole entire life. Political parties were created to divide people, control people, brainwash people, and make people start fighting battles. Not because
Hmm.
the battles have meaning, but because they think their party is getting attacked by one side or the other. And if I am a Democrat, I'm going to fight for the democratic principles. I don't care if it kills me because I'm not smart enough to recognize that this system's been set up to divide people, for Christ's sake. That's what the whole point is. Why would you need a system of parties when you can have
Yeah.
a system of people that just say, I'm voting for the best candidate,
Yeah.
and hopefully he does the best job for me. If not, we vote him out.
Well,
But
I
no,
thought
we
I
get
did that.
entrenched in,
Right. I thought
yeah.
I did that the last
It's like
election.
Jim Jones.
Yeah.
He got people to drink Kool-Aid and killed themselves.
Yeah.
Right? It's like these
Yeah.
other cults. They're the same
Hmm.
thing, and
Yeah.
nothing's going to change, right, Mike Hostick? You're part of that cult.
Yeah, Mike.
Michael said
Yeah.
I was mean to him because I speak my piece. See, you got to remember something. I was a loyal Democrat, and I was the guy that took on all the fights. That was my job. I was the whip.
Yeah.
I was taking on all the fights, protecting all the Democrats. And when my time came, they shit all over me and did everything they could to destroy me. That's when I realized that they're a bunch of cockroaches, right?
Yeah.
And
And
that
Mike, right, and Mike Hostig here, okay, he's on a posting ramp on the page here, at least 4 posts right now. So he must really dove into that beer
well, I
tonight.
love him. I love Mike Costick.
Yeah,
I do. We just have a different agreement about today's Democrats. I've been a Democrat my whole life.
yeah,
I don't know if I could be anything else, but I'm not so sucked into the concept that a Democrat has all the right ideas. I
yeah,
just believe like if I have to be part of a party, then what side do I have more beliefs in? I don't believe
yeah,
in abortion, but
yeah,
I'm a Democrat,
yeah.
right? I believe in people who's going to make their own choices. I don't have to support their choice. I just have to say to them, you're going to do what you're going to do. I don't have to believe in it,
Yeah,
but you have a
yeah,
right to do what you want to do, right?
yeah,
And I believe in smaller government, which makes me opposite of a Democrat because Democrats want big government. I think all of us have some type of, you know, a party affiliation, but we break away on certain topics, right? I mean, we
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
all agree that the democratic principles are the most perfect principles. There's
yeah.
things that they do that are bad,
Well,
right?
even you and I see things differently in certain areas. Not, it's not always 100% agreement. I see a lot of things that you do your way of thinking, because you think from a government point of view or a political point of view, because you've been in that realm. Not me. I think it from a more or less a people point of view. Blah blah blah, like that, and that's where I think sometimes we have a difference. But we've got somebody retiring in the city. I know you want
Yeah,
to
we
talk
do. Let's
about
jump
that.
over. I want to just, Tim, this is kind of weird because I don't know how to explain this. I was telling you on the phone today.
Yeah,
I really don't know how to explain this, but there's something about a small city, in a small city like Cohoes, where you feel this sense of pride and you have this comfortableness about the city, and you see these things day in and day out for generations and generations, and it all just fits. Like it just fits, and you feel like you belong. I'll give you an example. Like,
like
right,
Mayberry.
yeah, like for 35 years, I could drive down past the city hall on a certain afternoon, and I would always see John Domel from the community center walking to the bank to bring the money from the community center, and he'd be waving at everybody, and you just knew that you knew him, and it was just you just seen it year after year.
It's
You
a
you,
like a
you would
soft, warm, romantic type of
well, I don't know if it
you
was
know,
romantic, Timmy, but it was
yeah,
certainly soft and it
warm
made you feel
and
good, right?
cozy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Rosie at the Abraham Lansings for generations
yeah.
would
Rosie.
cross these kids, and you would see her every day, and
Yeah,
you'd have Billy Heslin and Tommy
driving. Yeah,
Ross
he would be
for
driving the
50
streets.
years.
You know,
Yeah, and
checking just to get on out around the neighborhood. You see Billy. Do you see the current chief of police doing that?
it's not. I don't even know, but to me, it's just a matter of that you've seen these people your whole life,
Yeah,
and they brought a sense of comfort to you,
yeah,
sense of community, a sense of feeling like, hey, I belong. I know him. Hey, how you doing? And it just made you feel good. And for 36 years, which is a long time, and I've passed by Abraham Lansing School thousands and thousands
yep,
and thousands of times. And every time I passed by that school, I would see this man right here, Cliff Bird.
yep,
Cliff announced that he's going to retire after 36 years.
yep.
And I find it really funny because, me and Cliff probably have totally different political views. And he was probably on the opposite side of where I was when I was running for office. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I would, if I had $100 bet, I would bet you. But guess what? Every single day that I would drive by that school, either going to work, or if I'm dropping off my grandkids, or if I was dropping off my kids, he was the principal for every one of my children. My oldest son's 31,
Yeah,
and my youngest is 24, and all my grandkids. And I got to tell you something. He is a special man. Um, he would always be outside, giving everything he got to watch those kids, to love those kids, to protect those kids, to make sure they had everything they needed. And there was that comfort zone that when you drove by, Cliff Bird would be outside, and you would feel
yeah,
good about that. Just like when John Domel was walking to the bank and Joe Lutz was selling bingo chips, and Rosie was screaming at people to move their
yeah. And
car.
do you
And
remember Mr. Maresco?
yes, Dr. Moresco, and all these
Yeah,
people were staples of this community. And I actually felt sad when I realized that I will drive by that school in
yeah.
very
There's
short order,
there's a
and he'll
void
no
now.
longer be out there.
Yeah, it feels like a hole in the wall.
And it feels like a
Yeah, yeah,
hole in your life, even though he's
yeah.
not part of my life. It's kind of
Right.
like I don't know him
Like
personally. I don't know his personal life. I never
neither
hung
do
out with
I,
him or
but
drank a
he's
beer.
sort of like a staple, though.
Yeah, but I'll feel something missing in my life because of him as the man, and him doing all the things that he's done for 36 years. And when I would talk to him briefly, dropping my grandkids off, he was funny. He was charismatic. He was, he was just, he was a unique man to say the least. But
Yeah, I did the pitching camps in the Lansing gym, and he okayed all that stuff.
well,
If you
I think
remember,
he
yeah,
always went out of his way to help people
he
no matter
did.
what.
He did.
And so, to Cliff Bird, after 36 years, I don't know. I just want to give you a shout out and say thank you for your service. Thank you for
Yep.
all that you've done for the thousands of kids that you
Yep.
touched over the course of your career. And thank
Yep.
you from a father and a grandfather
Yep.
who just knows that constant of you standing outside every morning
Hmm.
made me feel better. It made
Yep.
me feel better about our city, and it made me feel better about my kids and my grandkids being at that
Yep.
school. And I'm going to miss seeing you.
Yep. Well,
But
he
I
loved
wish
his
you
job and
well.
he loved the kids. Yep.
Yeah. So
And
we wish you well, Mr.
yeah, we
Bird, and
do.
we hope that you have a great retirement. You certainly deserve that. And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll all see you in passing. Maybe one day you'll come on our show and talk about what it was like to be the principal
For
in
30
the
some odd
school
years.
district for
Yeah.
36 years. But
Yeah.
hey, congratulations again. We wish you well, and you will be missed by people that you would never expect miss you. And I'm sure of that I'm one of them. So, hey, Timmy,
Hmm.
let's jump over to the on the radar. I know you got a few things you want to talk about next week. What are we going to talk about? What's coming
Well,
up?
just very quickly, okay, the Traffic Commission had its first initial meeting to go over the site plan for the stewards they want to build up in place of LePage's. And so there was exchanges going back and forth. But what happened is they came to an agreement where some minor tweaks here and minor adjustments to the site plan were done, and Stewart's was more than happy to make these little adjustments here and there to
Yep.
ease traffic. So they voted to move that project along, but it's not in its final stages until the planning and zoning meets and they get their ducks in a row, and then it'll end up going back to the traffic, I guess. So it's got its first leg, I guess, in the ground moving forward there.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that so that we
Yep.
report that back to the people of Cohoes. That we'll have
Yep.
our third steward. I don't know. Something
Maybe.
tells me that they'll probably close the one on Columbia Street. I can't. I mean, I just can't imagine. I think it's a great location. I'm very happy
It
for
is.
Tony LePage and his family. They are a great family. I talk about a staple in this community. Um, his daughter's a principal at one of the
Yeah.
schools. That if it
High
wasn't
school.
for her, yeah, if it wasn't for her, my daughter never would have made it through school.
Yeah.
She really went above and beyond. She always goes above and beyond. And they got a
Yeah.
great family, and I wish them well. I hope that it was a very successful transition for them. And I think Stewart's will do good there. The question is, will they have three of them? I can't imagine. The city's only got 16,000
Everybody's
people.
telling me the same thing. They're thinking along the lines of the one on Central there, by Bedford and
But
that street down there.
every time I
may
go
end
there,
up
it's
shutting
packed.
that up. Yeah, it
Ev-
is. I mean, they get a lot of foot traffic in that
Yeah.
store.
So it
Okay,
may
so
stay open. Maybe it's a whole different clientele. These are the people coming down from,
not
you
everybody
know,
needs gas either when they run in there.
yeah,
They're go-
people be coming down from a different county and a different city, coming down River Road, coming down, going to work,
yeah,
jumping on 787. Who knows? I can only tell you this: Stewart's a lot smarter than we are, right? They've done pretty good for themselves. They don't need me and you
yeah,
to tell them where they're going to open and where they're going to close and where they're going to,
yeah.
build their new stores. But hey, listen, everybody, I appreciate the show again. Congratulations to Mr. Bird. Troy, I hope you'll come to your senses and quit fighting politically, because fixing Frear Park is a great idea. Don't let it become a Hatfield versus McCoy's, Republican versus Democrats. We shouldn't be doing that on the local level because it hurts people. See, when they do this shit on the federal level, a lot of it has no bearing on it. It doesn't even
Yeah.
touch your life. But guess what? On the local level, it really does touch your life. And so stop the fight and stop the Hatfield versus McCoy's. Vote on stuff because it's good for the people. Stop. I'm a Republican. You're a Democrat. And we can't get along. And, to DPW, we're still rooting for you from this end of the shit show over here. Good luck.
Yeah.
Bring your clothespins and put it on your nose, but don't take all that shit. Fight the good fight. And
All right.
Danny McCoy,
Yep.
appreciate you sending us the information. I know that you'll be on the show soon. And Timmy, what else you got before we go?
One last thing is I'm it's a rumor that I'm being told that there are bids going out to clean out that bird shit tower and replace the stairs.
Well, you know, Timmy,
that's probably going to cost them $25,000.
Probably cost them more than that because it's going to be prevailing wages. Probably $100,000 to clean that pigeon shit, right? I don't know if I said this to you before.
Yeah.
You know, there's times when I just think that it's important to like stick up for the guy. I think the mayor's a terrible mayor, not because he beat me in an election, because my wife beat me. He didn't beat me. And not because of all the bad things he's done, because I don't know of anything they've built, anything they've done. I know millions of dollars have been wasted, and I know the taxpayer one day is going to wake up and get hit with something that they're not expecting because, you know.
And this is not his fault, really.
But this is not his fault, because when I was in office, I never went up there. It could have been pigeon shit up there too. And I never went up there, and I wouldn't even have known about it because your mind is on so many more things than did pigeons. But the reality is when you started putting in those new windows would have been a great place to look and say, hey, how's it up there, and fix it before you put in all the windows, right?
So, and so I don't really blame him at all on this. Where I do cast blame on him is that he was asked by someone during a council meeting, he goes, look, is it true that OSHA is shut that down, you can't go in there and stuff like that? He goes, no, the story's untrue. Sean, you and I broke that story.
Right. Okay? He just lied to the public.
He just couldn't come out and be truthful and say, well, it wasn't OSHA, it was PESH.
Right, which is the same thing.
Same thing, this is why I find myself picking on the guy more, is because he just can't be open, honest, and truthful to people.
Well, I don't believe for one second anybody's picking on him. The reality is, if he does something good, we say he does something good. When he does something bad, you say he does something bad. Hostek, what do you think? Hostek said he's not. He says, never mind, I'll vote for Keeler. I said I love you, man. I just said that you're a little crazy, right? I'm doing a dry January. I want to be in shape like my idol, Sean. You're going to have to do more than get dry, kid. It's a battle.
Well, so Mike, I'm going to leave you with this thought, okay? His name is in the back channels there. He's now being known as Sean Morsenegger.
Listen, it's not more about growing. It's about losing. I lost 56 pounds. Well, 58 pounds as of today, I think.
Yeah.
But, it's a grind. And I'm glad people have been following my journey because it's a fun journey. I have a lot harder time, Timmy, as you know, right? I struggle with walking. Yeah. I struggle with my legs. I struggle with insomnia. My back is so bad that at times I can't even stand up out of the chair. So when I go, it looks a little more dramatic, but the reality is I just take my time and I do a lot of the exercises the doctors gave me, the stretch and stuff, because otherwise I'd be crippled in my chair. But I appreciate everybody who's sending out letters and emails and all this stuff, Facebook. But hey, follow the journey. Timmy's doing it. Look he's got muscles growing out of the side of his cheeks right now. Show him, Tim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Show him your muscles. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining Truth, Lies, and Political Bullshit. And we'll catch you next week. See you later.